All right, let's find now the 6 trig ratio. So let's start with sine. So sine of theta, which is 60 degrees, is what? Sine, we said that sine is so, cut or we check is opposite over hypotenuse. So opposite, what is the opposite? Is square root 3, is the opposite right here. 3 square root of 3 over hypotenuse over 6. Can I divide by 3? Yes. So if I divide by 3 both sides, it's going to be square root of 3 over 2. Whereas if you want the cosecant, so the cosecant we said that is 1 over a sine, right? Right over a sine. Cosecant of theta is 1 over sine of theta. So it's just 2 over square root of 3. Cosine of theta. Cosine we said is adjacent over hypotenuse. So what is the adjacent? 3 over 6. So 3 over 6. And if I will simplify, it's going to be 1 over 2. And what is secant equals to? So secant is 1 over cosine of theta, secant of theta, sorry, equals to 2 over 1, which is 2. And the other one is tangent. So what is tangent of theta equals to? So tangent is opposite over adjacent. So the opposite is 3 square root of 3 over 3. So 3 and 3 cancel out. So it's going to be square root of 3. And what is the cotangent equals to? So cotangent of theta equals to what? Equals 1 over square root of 3, which is, this is, we can write it like square root of 3 over 3, right? Square root of 3 over 3. All right. So how about now if I ask you, what is the value of this angle right here? So we know this is 60 degrees. So what is this, the value of this angle? So we can use two different ways. There's the easy one, like is just the sum of all the angles of the triangles. We know that is 180. So we know this is a right angle. So it's 90 degrees plus 60 degrees. So this has to be 30 degrees, right? This is 30 degrees. But we can find this one too using the trigonometry function. But in this case, you have to go back inverse function of the trigonometry function. So if we have sine, for example, what is sine of, let's call this alpha now. Sine of alpha is what? Is opposite over hypotenuse. So opposite, let's choose opposite. What is the opposite of it? It's 3, right? So the opposite of this one now is 3. This is the opposite of it. So 3 over, what is hypotenuse? Over 6. So 3 over 6. So sine of alpha equals 3 over 6, which is 1 over 2. So what is alpha equals to? In this case, I will show you in the calculator how you can use the inverse function with your calculator. So the inverse function, as you can see, it is right here. It shows you sine to the power of -1, cosine to the power of -1, and tangent to the power of -1. When we're going to use this is when we look for the value of the angle. What is the size of the angle, or the value of the angle? So if we ask you for that, you're going to use this. But if we look for the side, the length of the side, you use sine, cosine, and tangent. But if you guys looking for the value of the angle, what is the angle is equal to, you're going to use the inverse function of sine of those trigonometry functions. So sine of -1. So here we can say sine of -1 of 1 over 2 equals what? So we're going to find alpha. So let's find alpha equals to what? So here we go. I don't know if you can see it. All right. So so you will just do a second function, right? Second function, and you put sine of to the power of -1 of what is 1 over 2? 1 over 2 is 0.5, right? And what is this angle equals to? Is 30 degrees, right? This is 30 degrees. Here we go. So just be careful, guys. Please check if you are if your calculator is in degrees, or when you change it right here. It goes like degrees to the radian grade. So this is you keep it in degrees when you work with the degrees. So the value is 30 degrees. So as you can see, we found it two different ways. So here is 30 degrees when we use sine, the inverse function of sine. So 30 degrees, if you remember, in order to convert this to radian, we have just to multiply by pi over 180 degrees. So what is this? We can we can divide by 30. So we'll have is pi over 6, right? Pi over 6. And what is 60 degrees? This one. 60 degrees equals to what? 60 degrees is when you multiply by pi over 180 degrees, equals to pi over 3. You divide by 60, divide by 60 is pi over 3. This is just to remember you guys about the radian measure. Now, if, for example, let's just use a compass to show you something. So let me use a compass here, and if I want to know what is the length of this arc, wait, let me show you what I'm talking about. Here we go. All right, so look this arc right here. I'm talking about this arc. What is the length of this arc right here, guys? What is the length of this arc right here? It's very easy to find it. So how can I find this? Is just check what is this angle. So this angle who made this arc is this, right? So it's the 60 degree. So which is the pi over 3. And you multiply that. So this angle, if I call this x, so x equals to what? Is this angle in radian, pi over 3, which is 60 degrees, times the radius. What is the radius? Is the hypotenuse right here, right? The radius is the hypotenuse, look. Is the hypotenuse. So it's going to be the same thing right here, which is times 6, right? So what is this equals to? X equals 2 pi. If I divide by 3, it's going to be 2 pi. It means x equals 2 times 3.14, which is 3.14 pi. So x equals to what? X equals 6.38. This is the distance or the length of this arc. You cut it in this side, you open it, and you check what is the length of it. It's going to be 6.38.